Now, our guest is the legendary Mr. Jeffrey Kwame Cantey, aka Symplemann Cantey, who started beautifully in Ghana reggae-wise, released a couple of albums before he left the shores of Ghana to Germany to go and start teach English over there. He has been there, for all this while. Ladies and gentlemen, this Ghana month, we decided that we have to touch base with Symplemann Cantey and find out, how are things from his musical side to now teaching in abroad, life, style, pattern, family, and all that. Let's go online and welcome Symplemann Cantey. Symplemann.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Oh, it's so amazing to be with you, man. And first and foremost, let me take the opportunity to share my respect and greetings to your audience, both far and near, and share my greetings with anyone who is else in the studios where you are. And to answer your question or to reply to your greetings, I'm super fine. And how are you, sir?
We can't complain. The wind in Ghana.
It's not worth it to complain, right?
The wind blowing in Ghana is very hot, but we are managing. You understand me? All of us are managers in Ghana. Trust me.
All right.
If you ask me.
No, it's good to be a manager. That's the most important thing, because if you can manage something, it means that top here is working very well.
Definitely. Now, Symplemann.
Yeah, bro.
This is Ghana month.
Yeah.
And what we've decided to do is legends like yourself who led.
Oh, thanks for the legend title.
Legends like yourself who fought, a good battle for us in terms of reggae from that time there till now. Yeah. You guys set the pace and we are following it till now. You understand me? Now, I would like you to take us through the history in terms of where you were born, where, you started life, where you schooled, and then how you end up venturing into the reggae sector in Ghana. Talk to us about that.
All right. I was born in Accra. Yeah. I think my parents met in Accra. My mom is from Osu. Yeah. And my dad is Safari. And then I grew up mostly, I think my adult life was all in Osu, but predominantly in Nungwa. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, Nungwa. So Nungwa, I was really, it's almost like someone who's a native of Nungwa, but I wasn't in Nungwa, but I grew up there. I went to my elementary school, my middle school, and my first college. I did all of that in Nungwa, the town Nungwa, I think between, if you know Nungwa, it's between where? Accra and Tema. So everything was all right. So that's about me. And then I finished a technical college, which I went for 4 years there. Royal Technical College, Roteco. That one was the influence and I think the role model of my grandfather, who was a civil engineer. And that had an influence on me to study building construction, because my granddad took me most of the time to his construction site. And his last project before he died, he was working on a water project in Peve, somewhere in the Volta region, between Chito and Peve. So he took me there several times, and I saw some of his projects and other projects, construction projects, civil engineering construction projects. So in fact, it was like, I got a little bit of inspiration to go into construction studies, which I did. And I got my graduation all right. But then after, I think I realized that, I needed more after the death of my grandfather. And then I shifted to journalism. You must have heard communication studies. Yeah, which I also did. Graduated, got my qualification, certification, and stuff like that, and then went abroad. Abroad, I dabbled between Germany and the UK for a while, but eventually I decided to settle in Germany because I met my wife, my girlfriend, who is now my wife. So in the nutshell, that's what I can tell you for now, based on any further questions.
All right.
If I haven't lost in a trail of your question.
All right. So now let's find out when music stepped in for you. You know, chasing this what do you call it?
That's a very good question. Because
civil engineering kind of stuff and all these things and all that and all that.
The civil engineer was my grandfather, but I building construction studies. So music all along, in between this one, it was a hobby.
Okay.
So I just bought a guitar. I remember I bought an acoustic guitar and didn't know how to even play a single note.
Wow.
A single musical note. Why did I buy this guitar? Because I went to Accra and I saw this red, yellow colored small guitar. It was just you can see the colors of my shirt here, yellow and red like that.
Yeah.
So I was fascinated and I just bought the instrument and took it home with me. But then as someone who by dint of grace, both sides of my family are well-educated people. So then the next question is, you have the guitar, then you have to look for a music school to learn how to play. Of course, I remember one of my distant cousins named Howard. He's a musician. He teaches at the Winneba School of Music. I don't know the name today. I think the name has changed. It could be an Academy of Music or something. He started to teach me a few musical notes, but...
In which year was that?
I mean, the year I can't remember, but I was living in North Kaneshi, and they were living in Bubuashi, so I would go to him. For me, when it comes to knowledge, I will go. It doesn't matter what the distance. So I will go to him and he would teach me a few rudiments. This year I was still studying.
Okay.
So I was still going to colleges and things like that, here and there. But then eventually I found a school in Accra. I don't know if it still exists. This guy came from Germany and set up a music school called BIPA School of Music, somewhere around the main Accra Central main station. And I enrolled, paid my tuition by myself, and my guitar teacher was, I've forgotten his name, a very strict teacher. It was there that I, learned I learned what a note is, what a chord is, what a harmony means, and all the other things. So I learned to play. I mean, this is one of my favorite instruments.
Okay.
As you can see, the guitar. Yeah. So I still play. I'm active. So there I registered and learned to play. And that is what I will motivate. I want to use this platform. Thank you for this question. Please, if you have the talent, don't worry about it. Get somebody to teach you at least how to play an instrument, how to play a bongo, or just don't worry. Learn how to play something that you can say, I have a teacher who taught me how to do this. I have a master who taught me how to do something. Yeah. So that was when the music thing was starting. I started, strumming along. But then going into music, I had written a few lyrics, a few with my guitar as an accompaniment over the time of learning how to play an instrument. Then one day, I went to, Ghana Films to watch a movie called Sarafina. Have you heard this film?
Yeah,
before?
by that it's a South African movie, right?
With the shooting of the Soweto school kid.
Yeah.
that was a turning point. I was in the theater and I started crying emotionally, so powerfully. I was crying because of the scenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the moment the film ended and I got home, I don't know. I mean, look, music is energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sat down at my table and wrote a whole song called "The Cry of Soweto," which was on the first album. I didn't give it to you. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
"The Cry of Soweto," and then that same evening I wrote "God Bless Africa," which you was the first song you played, and then going to school, coming back, I was dabbling. I had a few savings due to, the I don't know, the generosity or whatever. I had a few money. So the next question is, I have the songs, I have the arrangement. What is the next move? I didn't know anybody. So I talked to a few people. But living in North Carnation, there I found Elephant Walk Studio.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there and made some inquiries. Elephant Walk Studio, how much do I have to pay? How much do you charge? How much will it cost? And they gave me all the charges. I put it together and I footed the bill by myself. So I recorded in singles. So I record one project. When the money is gone, then I just wait and maybe till I get another money, then I go to the studio and arrange with musician and professional, whoever, to join me, in the studio. And I footed the bill, everything by myself, and I got it done. So that's when the music kicked off. I think that was more around 1980, 87 to 1990. I was fully on the road singing and making money from music.
Wow. 87 to 90.
Yeah. Between that time, I think,
1987.
I'm not really sure, but that's the timeline.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let me ask you, around that time,
Yeah.
from like 87 or to the
Yeah.
90s,
Yeah.
Symplemann Cantey was alive and kicking.
Yeah, it
doing
became a
music,
household name actually.
All right, and all that. And seriously, Kweku Mensah, aka Mokin. Mokin said, hearing his songs now brings nostalgic memories of me as a young boy watching him live on GTV weekend renditions, show aired on Saturday in the evening, specifically the Ghana song Sumo Anyemi. How that song used to be played on GBC FM. Respect due legend. God bless Africa. God bless you. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really heart touching. Yeah.
So
they want me to go back into music, recording music, commercial music again. I think when they say nice things like that, it's like I have to go back and record for them again.
So now, let's find out around that time, who were some of your peers in music?
Oh, that's a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one. I mean, I think with reggae, I was influenced on the Ghanaian music scene, not the international.
Mm-hmm.
On the Ghanaian music scene, I think I was influenced by Classic Handles and Daniel in the Lions Den. What is his name?
Felix
Bell.
Felix Bell.
And on the international stage, I was influenced by Peter McIntosh. I was influenced by these are legends. Bob Marley. I was influenced by Johnny Nash. I was in Jimmy Cliff, all the big names.
All right. So
and the peers on the scene. Are you my peers on the Ghanaian music scene, right?
Yeah.
Then it's clear. Rexoma, Nat Brew, Asaase Japan was there, and then came the others, the other young ones. The names are after. I mean, when they saw that we, the young ones, including myself, we were able to be in the limelight, we opened the floodgates. I mean, I think they will not confess that we inspired them. They will not say that someone like me was an inspiration, but it's not the issue. The issue is that after that moment, it was the floodgates of young talent got opened. And to be honest with you, it was so beautiful to see them come on. I mean then with Zap Mallet and some other guys who got together to introduce hip life. Yeah, I mean it was a floodgate. I mean, not even a floodgate. That was I don't know how to say that. It was a watershed.
Yeah,
watershed of, cascading effect, and it was so nice and positive to see this young energy bursting onto the scene and doing their own thing and exposing their talent and making some ends meet or money out of it.
All right. I was glad to hear the fact that you said you were inspired by the classic handles and also Felix Bell on Ghana soil. Now, what we are trying to establish over here is that those days, who should we classify as the first, reggae artists? Like,
I don't know.
Not band.
I think the names, I've been away for a long time, almost 30 years now. So it's like, I don't know. Then there's also someone's name who is ringing a bell in my head, right? Consular Hayes. Do you know? Have you heard that?
Yes.
Consular Hayes.
Yeah.
But the biggest, I must confess, the bands came. I mean, Rutanabo, come on. I mean, the bands came. But the first person who captured and dominated the Ghanaian reggae music scene was Felix Bell. For me, I don't know. I mean, there must be someone who came before. Reggae is just an evolution of ska and what do we call it? Rocksteady.
Yeah, rocksteady.
And then it became reggae. So it's an evolution. But on that scene, the one that stays in my mind and unforgettable is still Felix Bell.
Felix Bell. So
then later when I was away somewhere in London, I heard of some scandals. But despite all of those issues, it doesn't interest me. What interests me is his contribution as far as reggae music on the Ghanaian local market scene was concerned. I think Felix Ajim Bell, that was his middle name.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We give thanks for establishing that for us on Yaad Settingz on Asaase Radio. 32 minutes going into the R2 here on Asaase Radio, the voice of our land. We're live on 99.5 in Accra, 98.5 in Kumasi, 100.3 in Cape Coast, and 99.7 in Tamale. Asaase Radio, we are nationwide. And the show is Yaad Settingz. And we're talking to, one of the pioneers, you understand me, talking about reggae music from them time there till now, you understand me. And this Ghana man, he said, yo, I will talk to you guys and give you the version of my works and my story. And we are having that over here on the show. Now, what I want to find out is, in terms of recording your first album, The Cry of Soweto, which studio, which engineers worked on that? Do you still remember them?
Oh, it's a long time ago. But the studio's name was Elephant Walk Studio.
Okay.
North Kaneshie Industrial Area. The guy who engineered, I came home in January. I worked with Zap Mallet on a new, I don't want to talk about that yet. Maybe you haven't asked me. I worked with Zap Mallet and I tried to remember, and Zap told me that this guy has moved on. In other words, he has passed away, unfortunately. His name, he has a very easy name. I don't know why. Maybe during the course of your program, I'll remember. I worked with musician, guitarist from, there was this guy who played for the Ramblers band. You guys, I don't know if you heard anything about Ramblers band.
Yeah.
They have a guitarist. He's fair colored. He's now living in the US, in New York, to be precise. I seem to have forgotten his name. There was this trumpeter who played for one of the big Ghana bands who supported my saxophone solos on that album. And this engineer, oh my God, this so handsome, good-looking, friendly guy. I've forgotten his name, actually. I'm not good at remembering names, but maybe during the course of this, I will.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Tete sisters who did the backing vocals. The Tete sisters, I remember their names. Yeah, they were their sisters, siblings, who joined the backing vocals. And yeah, apart from that, yeah, the studio name I still remember.
Yeah.
And this engineer, the engineer, I've forgotten his name.
It was recorded live.
May his soul rest in peace.
Amen. It was recorded live, right?
I mean, we're talking about, look, oh, gee. We call it half-inch tapes.
Yeah.
I mean, today we live in a digital world.
Yeah.
It was a half-inch tape studio.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the experience.
With huge machines and, I mean, wall-to-wall mixing board.
Mm-hmm.
And all the studio equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Recording equipment filling one side of the room, one big room. So all these things are now history, and they have become like, they belong to history now. Because if today's musician is sent to a studio, a real music studio that probably has existed since 1990, even 1990 until that, they will be shocked. Mm-hmm. to see all the equipments. Mm-hmm. I mean, a whole. I mean, let's talk about it a better.
Wow.
Let's talk about it a better.
So, I would like to establish one thing.
Please do.
Was it recording like everybody will be ready in the studio? The singer, the backing vocalist, the drummer, the guitarist, the bassist, everybody will be, ready, and then we strike it, and then there we go, and then we record it live at once.
It's quiet. You've touched down on it in a way, but there's more to it than that. Mm-hmm. First, you need a couple of days for them to lay all the tracks. So the drum tracks will be laid. Maybe it will take one day. But my drum session was not analog. So that was when drum machines had started to appear.
Okay.
So they laid a drum track. And then you the singer, you the creative artist, maybe they will ask you to lay a guide track that will go with a drum rhythm. Mm-hmm. Okay, when this is done, this should take one day. And then they will have to bring in the bass guitarist to come and do his bass session and go away. And then they will bring in any session musician who has to be recorded. So these things were happening in weeks.
Wow. Wow.
It's not like today I can go, even to record a single should take you at least a single, you might need about 4 to 7 days to record just a single.
Wow.
So it's not like everybody comes into the studio one day, no. And you have to pay each day that is booked. It was expensive. Oh my God. Bloody expensive, I should say. And it's not like you just one day session. No. Each day it is booked. You paid for the day, and then each session musicians who comes in to perform must be paid off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unlike today, I have my Cubase on my Mac. I have my MIDI keyboard today, and I'm ready to go. I have my Cubase 10, of course, it's a little bit old, but it's a different ball game today. It's completely different today. So, I mean, it's getting better. It's so nice to see this change from analog to digital. And the digital sounds are getting just, as somebody would say, fantabulous. They are just explosive. You just have to, it's amazing, the improvements in the digital recordings. Yeah. But nevertheless, the huge number one high-level studios still record analog today. They use both. They combine the analog and the digital to get the maximum and the ultimate sound that they want. So there are a few studios that you can only find them in maybe New York, one in Berlin, Germany, the advanced countries. They still have these huge analog studios mixed with the digital.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, he's taking us through, the process of recording those days. And mind you, all these things were happening between 1987 to 1990. You understand me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1987 to 1990. Now, when did you start traveling out of the country?
I first got my UK visa. That was after Onugano travel. I think that was 1990 something, 96 or something. Yeah, went to the UK and came back, and then the opportunity. I mean, traveling was not my biggest thing. My biggest dream was just to be able to live happily, to be happy in my little life with music and with my knowledge, the things I have been able to study in my life. So traveling began due to music.
Okay.
It was due to music. So the music opportunities, you get invitations here, you get invitations there, you go and you come back. Because the visa system is that it's better to go and come back.
Yeah.
So that you can have multiple stamps in your passport. Anytime, it will make your travel easy for you. Because they know that you don't want to go and stay forever in their countries.
All right. So let's come back to music again, and then
yes, sir.
From there we'll move into some other things. Now, would you say our standards today in terms of our music, and I'm talking about reggae in Ghana, would you say it has fallen as compared to when you were coming up as an artist?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I mean, music is music. It's just an expression of thought. Mm-hmm. It's the energy, an expression of, we can call it inspiration. People give so many different names to it. It's a thought, it's an inspiration, it's an idea, it's an energy that comes and you put melody to it and you add rhythm to it. And it's a self-expression that would outlive you, the singer or the composer. Because these thoughts, these inspirations, they are so powerful that they will outlive you, the musician. So to say that the standard is lower than before, I wouldn't say that. It's a different energy, different vibration. And the young guys today, the current musicians, oh, I mean, if those guys in the past, if we had such energy like these young ones have today, I think we would have achieved more than we did those times. Yeah, it's not a regret. I mean, we are all happy and satisfied with what we did, but I'm complimenting what they are doing now. Because without them, then it will be like either our music will be stagnated on the plateau, but they have made a gigantic step. They have taken a gigantic step and caused our music to evolve, or caused the Ghanaian music to evolve in a way that, just like in Jamaica, where ska evolved into what do you call it, rock, whatever, into reggae, into dancehall, into this. So these guys are really today's standards. No way. I'm not going to say that it is a lower standard, or they have brought it down. They have probably raised it.
Okay.
They have probably raised it. I mean, I know some of you back there, you have a little bit, not some people, some people have issues with the current artists because the kind of lyric they produce, they are so bold. They are so bold and daring with their lyrics that I think sometimes it either shocks the people, or it makes people angry because they are so daring. I mean, these it's like they are fearless with what they say. And I think that is the main issue that probably, which if they have a music union there that can, organize seminars and bring them down to the fact that probably it's a different culture, different tradition, and different cultural background, and maybe to sensitize them and maybe try to let them tone down their their daring, bold way of, exposing their lyrics.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can say.
All right. So let's find out this.
Yeah.
You have this, I think, is it thin hair kind of style over there?
It's called the lonely dread.
The lonely dread.
For over decades now.
Wow. Why that?
It's simple because the point was that I started first into reggae. When I was dabbling in reggae, it was like all reggae musicians. Yeah, I had a little bit of dreadlock. So eventually, protest from my family, I had to get rid of my dreadlocks for a little while, and I left that single one in memory to myself that for this one, it will be a sign that I once dabbled in reggae and dreadlocks, but I wasn't into the Rastafarian movement.
Okay.
And of course, there is this prejudice that all reggae artists are weed smokers and things like that. And these were a few excessive things that I managed to abstain a little bit from that.
Okay. All right. I got you now.
Yes, it's still there. Where is it? It's still hanging.
Yeah.
I've put it under my hair. It's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's real hair, actually.
Yeah.
That long.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
So, Symplemann, at a point in time, why were people speculating that you were no more? And around that time, you were still in Germany. You know.
I was then. I went to the UK. I was in Paddington for a while when I heard that some people see me. I mean, when you're an artist in anywhere, once you've been on TV, social media, people see you, they identify you. So this guy, Paddington, around Kensington area, it was like, yeah, I heard it for the first time that you died in a car crash in Belgium. I said, no.
Wow.
No, I didn't die in Belgium. Belgium and the Netherlands, I went there to teach. I went there, my company sent me there to teach. But it doesn't mean I've been dead. And then it went on. This one, oh, we've heard that you've died in a car crash. You've died in a car crash. You've died in a car crash. Even those days when I came to Europe and I stayed for only I think I stayed for 4 years and now 5 years. Then I went back home and said, oh, we heard that you've died in a car accident on the Kumasi road. I said, yeah, God forbid, man. God forbid. So all these things went round. I don't know. People look alike, of course. You know me and Jagga P, how we look alike.
Yeah.
You know Jagga P?
Yeah, I know Jagga P.
Yeah, people, I mean, there's this twins. I mean, people thought we were even twins those days. Yeah.
Wow.
So all these things were said, but I'm not a dead man walking. I'm flesh, blood, and bones. You're talking to me now, so
definitely. So
I mean, rumors are always like fire. They spread around, and yeah, maybe because of my absence from the scene, because it was like, I mean, I remember once 3 years ago, one of your radio stations organized a Christmas party, and I went there. I was in Ghana. I was there and I attended. And in fact, this young man saw me and he made me a little bit melancholic because of the things he said. Yeah, where have you been all this time? I was a young boy. I saw you on TV. You inspired me. I wanted to become a musician. And then all of a sudden you disappeared from the scene, blah, 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 blah. You know, how could you do this to me? Look, I was there and I had to, with the friends I went with, I just had to invite him for a beer. I had to invite him, just assured him that, well, it's not too late. It's possible I can go back to commercial music again. But music, I play music every day. Yeah. We have a band near Düsseldorf where I play with them. We play, but commercial, like recording artists, I think that's what he was trying to talk about. So this was the scene. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So
quite a
hearing such news in terms of people saying that, oh, Symplemann Cantey is no more and all this and all, how does that make you feel as a human?
No more in what sense? If no more in the music scene as a recording artist, it's true. But never say never, like James Bond, yeah?
Of course.
For me, I believe in that. I watched that movie several times. Never say never. Yeah. So I don't yield to people's opinion. I don't really assimilate to what people say. So never, these things, I'm there. And of course, the Buddhists and the experts say energy flows where attention goes.
Yeah.
And the problem is that I have found a craft, a profession that is really loving and that gives you back. I mean, teaching, rewards me each day, Monday to Friday, as a teacher, working for institutions that sent me to different European countries, maybe 3 weeks, to organize teaching seminars, to organize training sessions, business communication skills, and all these things to several, all across, and come back to my base, Germany, which is not my base. So it's no more. I think they are right in one aspect, in the sense like the recording music industry. But like I said, never say never. I could surprise. They could be so shocked or surprised pretty soon, but nobody knows. But I'm really alive and active. I'm using my expertise and knowledge in teaching after my training here in Europe to get a teaching certificate, you know. So I'm alive and kicking, very busy. That's the only thing excuse I can give you.
All right. So Symplemann Cantey, like holding, like pausing in terms of putting music on pause.
Yeah.
And pursuing a career in maybe English teaching now in foreign. Now, tell me that experience, like, you know, teaching in foreign and you based in Germany, and this issue to do with racism and all that, and you coming from Ghana, West Africa, being an English tutor. How is the experience?
I think, oh yeah, you're striking deep now. You're striking deep now in the sense that racism is when a person is, let's define it, is when a person is treated worse or excluded or disadvantaged or harassed, bullied, humiliated, or disgraced because of their race or ethnicity, right? So these things exist in almost across every culture. You know your country, Ghana, how Southness look at Northness. You know that. Yeah? Because it might not be racist, it might not be categorized as being racist there, but there is a lot of prejudice there. Don't you? Are you following me?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of prejudice even in that small country there. Prejudice dominates just because you come from the north, a southerner thinks you are Gaga or you are something. Or just because you don't speak Ashanti or Chi. I mean, my problem, the Chi songs I'm singing to you here, I had to be trained to sing that in the studio. So bringing it down to my travel, my home, what do you call it, domicile, my life in Europe. Yes, it's all about, now let me tell you something. You can dismantle people's prejudice, racist ideas or whatever about you by knowing what you do. That's the first thing. By exhibiting certain qualities that is like aligns with these haters. For example, when it comes to Europeans, one thing you can blow them off. I'm saying it for the benefit of the young ones, yeah? If you want to really dismantle an European dislike of you, because the point is that because you are different color, or not even different color, because you are not part of that clique, because you don't look like them, because you don't behave like them or act like them, they always have a natural dislike. It's everywhere. It's not only Europeans. It's everywhere. So you have to prove that you have certain qualities, like you are a reliable person. You are knowledgeable about what you do or what you claim. You're not so reliable, trustworthy, knowledgeable, and not that you know what you say you know, but you can do what you say you know. When these four things come into play, you disarm them a little bit, not completely. All right? You disarm them a little bit, because racism is not just black and white. It's just a multifaceted thing. It has so many features. It's just one word with so many features. It can also be an organizational level. Yeah, it can also be collective failure of an organization or the country itself yeah, to provide an inclusive and professional working environment for people because of their color or ethnicity. You see, so the country fails to provide this inclusive thing that makes it possible for you to work, blah, blah, blah. But the question is, do you have the competence for the job? Do you have the qualification, the ability, not only qualification, you skip forward, but you have the know-how? Because it's not about opening up, but they open up and you are not up to the standard. Then they will then start labeling you or me like a failure, black, stupid, this or that. Okay? So it's a sad thing, but it's a challenging situation for this 21st century, for society, for government to really address this issue. But I don't know if it can be removed or dismantled completely, because I think it's just part of our human DNA to just stretch our arm length and make sure that people don't come too close to us because they are different. I don't know if it can be dismantled, but of course it is a canker in the society. On the other hand, I will not generalize that all whites or all people anywhere are racist. No, that is not what it is. I mean, it's not everybody. There will definitely be, in every society, one or two groups or one or two people who are different, who act differently. But you have to always be in a position to dismantle, to disarm people's prejudices by exhibiting confidence, competence, ability, and skills, and most of all, like I said, reliability, trustworthy.
All right. Now,
for example, you know what we say, black people, we always say time is money, right?
Yeah.
White people, it's not a theory, it's their life.
Wow.
You understand? Time is money. You hear people say, "Oh, time is money. Time is money. Time is money." No, they don't. It's not something they believe. It's what they live and practice.
All right.
So if you prove, I don't know if now I'm have to create young new generation of fans, but the other ones, they've been loyal. They've been loyal, and they've been just begging and asking that I just continue. So what I want them to know is that it's not over until it's over.
All right.
It's not over.
There's one big thing. I mean, it's not over until it's over. And as long as the sun shines and the rain falls and the wind blows and the river flows, never say never.
Never say never. Now, you said something earlier on that you and Zap are working on something. Are we to hear something very soon from Symplemann Cantey?
That is the point. So let me you
break the news.
Zap, if you call Zap, he will confirm we've finished. We have done something. Wow. So the rest, we did it in January. Just this January, I was in Ghana, so we did it in January. So let's wait and see.
Wow, is it going to be authentic reggae?
Energy flows where attention goes. So let's wait and see.
Energy flows where attention goes. The words of Symplemann Cantey. Wow.
Yeah,
now,
yeah, Lagazee. The doctor himself.
In wrapping up with Symplemann Cantey on Yaad Settingz on Asaase Radio, on our 4 radio stations across the country with over 30 million people listening to us right now, would like to find out what advice, and I want you to don't step in the English teaching shoes. I want you to step in your artistic reggae shoes and advise our current generation who are venturing or in that particular space.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for them?
Look, your talent is power. All right? Back it with a little bit of knowledge. Knowledge means get a master to teach you an instrument. It's not a must do, but back your talent with learning to play a music instrument. You win a lot of respect when you travel abroad and you know how to play an instrument. You see, that is why people like Jeduble Ambulance are touring at his age. This man is almost in his 70s. He's a hot cake they want around the world. He plays an instrument. So your talent, entering into the music space, go. Don't be afraid. Go. But side by side, like I did, parallel, you are there, you're learning. Get a master, get a teacher. Yeah? Music teachers are arrogant, they are very strict, but don't worry. Learn how to play something. Minimum, learn how to play the djembe or the bongo. This is my advice, okay? And money, please, money will come. Money is a process. You will get money. You will never die poor, young man, young woman. But it's a process. It doesn't fall from the treetop. It's a process you have to go through. You have to learn something. You have to learn a skill. You have to learn a trade. And you have to go through the process of earning it. Money is no magic. You must have something to exchange. If you have nothing to exchange, then you cannot expect money. There's no miracle there. Get something. Your talent is what you can exchange for money. So learn the trade, acquire knowledge, and the sky is the limit for you. I believe you, I have confidence in you, and I positively know that you will make it, young man, young woman.
All right.
So I can give you.
Symplemann Cantey, I on my sheet I had a lot of questions to ask, but because of our time, we have to do it another time once again.
Oh, no, you're guaranteed. Okay.
And I can't wait for the brand new one to be ready so that we can also premiere it over here on Yaad Settingz on Asaase Radio with you on Zoom or you live in the studios. That will be another thing altogether.
I cannot promise, but what will happen will happen.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. I would like to say thank you so much for your time and space, Symplemann Cantey.
My brother, I want to thank you and your management team. Your producer is hiding. Can you bring his face onto the screen for me, please?
Yo.
Mr. Bawa, where is he?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, yeah, respect, man. Respect, man, yeah? God bless, man.
Yeah, man.
You're the best. You guys, you're the best. And your listeners, oh my goodness, God bless your listeners. I think you have the best audience in the world, and you have the best name. Asaase, which means earth, wisdom. Definitely. That's what it is.
Definitely.
I appreciate this moment.
Respect.
Unforgettable.
Yeah, man. Respect, Symplemann Cantey. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a sweet conversation with a legend, Symplemann Cantey. And wow. Before I leave you finally, legend, a lot of people are asking whether you should give us some lines. You understand me? All right. He's got his step.
All right, so let's do just one riff, a riff on mine. Let me look at which key. The B flat will be okay. Amazing. Ishimame, mame, Koko mame. Okay, wait. King.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
When I say oh mame, I want to hear you say yeah. You have to respond.
All right.
All right?
All right.
So let's go. Mame, mame.
Yeah.
Mame. Koko mame. The picture come and see where. Listen, baby, the she. Oh yeah, baby, I call. Baby, the she. Say she be down. This same old. We see a chinyo, then some is the water and the water frank. Umro, the woman, cause Umro, the picture name, see who.
That was Symplemann Cantey.